Okay, London session using momentum theory scanner. Momentum theory scanner is almost done. I'm just writing out all the features and preparing all the indicator page. It's going to be in the subscription very soon, maybe this week, maybe next week. Well, definitely next week, but could possibly be in by the weekend. So let's go and see how it performed. My London session is at 3 p.m. until 4 p.m. That's when London opens and when Tokyo closes. So I only trade when two markets are open at the same time. And let's replay what setups I had today. Okay, so there's three scanners together. Takes a bit of time to initialize, but once it does, it runs pretty flawlessly. Let this thing load. Okay, so we got all three scanners here. We have UK100, G30, GBP, USD as setups, and we have EJ and USD Swiss and silver as signal days. Okay, so UK100, this one tells me it's a trend breakout setup. That's a breakout, but this star with the flare tells me that it's outside of the daily range. So these ones are a little bit difficult for me to take. Whenever I have the breakout trades, it's color coded in red on my chart. All the cycles are of different colors. And basically, with that red color, the way that I want to get in is this breakout trigger. I want to see a retracement buy, in this case, after a previous M15 low fake out and previous H8 high breakout. So that's how I want to get in on these sort of trades. But this is not the typical structure that I like to trade. But there's so many different types of entry styles, and people have different comfort zones with their structures. So, if you can find a way to enter with this, then go for it. But for me, this is not really something that I would trade. D30, this is closer to how I would like to trade. It did behave kind of like how I would expect this to behave, double bar breakout pattern. So that's a continuation setup for me. Double breakout bar. What I'm looking for in that first day is a fake out of the low to take it up to the previous day high. Came down, faked out the low, went up to previous day high, except the breakout level is above. So this is something that I don't usually would trade. But if you're more willing to take risks, then maybe you could take something like that. But this is not something that I would normally like to trade. Next setup is a breakout above previous day high, above that previous H8 high. The breakout happened here. I prefer this previous H8 high to be a little tighter, but this is definitely something that I could take. This is a New York session. I wouldn't trade D30 in New York session unless I don't find anything else. But yeah, this is definitely a setup that I would take. And after that, I'm looking for consolidation and then a breakout above that previous day high. So there is a little bit of consolidation here, and then it did break out of that previous H8 and previous day high. But in London session, the H8 high is a little bit higher. Again, I prefer this to be squashed down a bit. But on the H8, you have that double breakout bar pattern, right? So same thing. You have that first breakout, and then you want consolidation on the H8, and then taking that above that H2 high. This one right here. So you could take this one on the M5, I feel. On the M15, I would have to wait for that retracement. So we do have a retracement here. M15 low fake out. These white bars are fake out bars. And so this is something that I don't mind taking if there's nothing else. GBP USD, that's a reversal setup. So this tells me that the previous week high has been triggered. So we did fake out the previous week high yesterday. And then today we're flipping the breakout level of the daily. So this is a possible swing point. And then if we get below the previous day low, this is a trend reversal. This starts a new trend on the daily. So I generally also don't really like to trade reversal setups, but this one is set up nicely for a reversal. And let's see what happened. So next M15 shot up. This one's breaking out below that previous day low. So this is also in a range here. I can see in the H8 there's an inside bar, and I can see on the indicator it does tell me that the H8 range low. So we're breaking out of that range. So this is something that I would take as a breakout trade. Now we have some more EuroCAD, Euro NZD. Euro NZD, this is a nice looking setup. This is the same setup as this. trend breakout, but this is a bearish one. This is a bullish one. This star tells me that we're still inside the range. So it's the same signal day, just one's inside the range and one's outside of the range. So this one I like, where it's a breakout day. We have hard time frames pushing down. And on those breakout days, the first setup I'm looking for is that trend retracement. So on a continuation, I want to see price come up, fake out the H8 high to take it down. So the H8 high is right over here. Previous days, the daily breakout level is right here. H8 also closed inside, faking out the H8 high range right there. So lots of confluence pushing down. What I don't like is trading right into that H8 breakout level. So if I did take this, I would have taken it all the way down to the previous H8 low or a previous day low, but I definitely will go break even by the time we get to the H8 breakout level. Either break even or partials, depending on how I entered. So that's a good one, I feel. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me if it went all the way or not. It's just I just want to know if the setup is good or not. EuroCAD, that's a range setup. So let's see how EuroCAD looked like at the time. Okay, EuroCAD range setup. That means we have a breakout bar followed by an inside day. So that is a setup for me. Breakout bar followed by an inside. However, I do like that breakout level to be higher up. So right now that breakout level is cutting right through the middle. This is not usually a inside range setup that I prefer. I prefer if it's a little bit higher, then I would feel more comfortable taking that. But in this case, it's a little difficult for me. It's not. I would still take it down, but it's not the best structure to take this one. So I probably wouldn't be looking at that. I'd stick with Euro NZD, especially since this is my favorite setup. That's a bread and butter setup for me. Okay, so let's see how that performed. We have it broke out G30. UK 100 also broke out here. We're above previous week high, above previous month high. 100% higher time frames pushing up, everything pushing up. In general, this is not really the sort of breakouts that I like to take, but I do know lots of people who do like to take this type of breakout. So could take that if you wanted, but for me, it's not really my favorite sort of breakout to take. I'm definitely more of a reversal or fake out trader. Okay, so still nothing new over here. Everything is still the same. Now we got some more. What time is it? So two more M15 bars until my session's done. So we have GBP CAD. So GU is moving down nicely. D30 is moving up. UK 100 is kind of stuck here. Let's see what GBP CAD is doing. So GBP CAD and EuroCAD are both range setups. Let me just see. We can just see how it looks like here. Okay, so EuroCAD, this is current price action. This is not replay mode, but EuroCAD just kind of stalled. GBP CAD actually did go all the way, but the setup I think is, what was that? Breaking out of that range. So that's from down here. So this one over here. So it could take that one, but again, I'm not really a breakout trader. The weekly is at a swing point, so actually this might be a one that I would have looked at. Weekly at a swing point, monthly at a swing point. So that might be something that I'd be looking at. Let's see. GJ. So the different setups pop up as they go. This is a breakout, trend breakout, but outside of that range as well. So we broke outside of the previous day low. Is this previous day low? Or over here maybe. Yeah, so it wasn't triggered before because it did not trigger that H8 high. And now that it's triggered the H8 low, now it does show up as a setup. But again, I don't really like taking these sort of breakouts. I prefer much faking out a high to take it down. But again, some people like taking these type of breakouts, and there is some room for it to move, but not. It's generally not really my style of breakout. But this is what the scanner found, and that's it. So only those setups, and they all seem to be good actually. UK100 ended up moving. D30 continued the breakout move. GBP USD looks like it's also continuing. GJ, well, it just started. Don't know if this is going to continue. They have the previous month low here. I wouldn't expect it to move much more than that. Um, so this one made its way all the way up to previous month high. UK100 is still breaking out. And what else was there? There was Euro NZD. This one is moving nicely. This is definitely something that I would have taken. Out of all the other ones, Euro NZD was the one that I would have taken. Euro CAD and GBP CAD. GBP CAD starting to break out. Euro CAD still kind of stalling, but it is making its way. Yeah, and that's it. So those were the setups that showed up in today's London session, and that's pretty much how you use a scanner. Um, it's not something that you should just, if some setup happens and you just take it. That's not what it's meant for. What it's meant for is to just tell you when the ideal conditions are to be looking at these pairs. So I don't look at anything else except for the ones that have been triggered and the ones that have signal days. I leave the scanner to deal with all of this stuff, all the pairs, while I focus purely on my core pairs. And so my core pairs, I know exactly where it's moving and how it's going, and I can take them whether there's a setup or not. But all the others, I don't bother with pre-market analysis time or anything like that. I hate analysis. I really dislike coming into the session and drawing out lines and trying to figure out where everything's going. And that's why I developed momentum theory, to just look at momentum when I'm looking at the chart. And so this is what this is supposed to do. It's just supposed to tell you when things are setting up, but it doesn't mean that you have to take them blindly. Today's session, it seemed to all work pretty good, but it doesn't work like this all the time. So just warning. And yeah, so that's it. So hopefully this will be out really soon, and make sure you're subscribed, and I'll let you know when it's in.